Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Creating Higher Soul Timelines with Christy Marie Davis, and that's me. I'm Christy. I am an Ascension Mentor and Soul Embodiment Guide, which means I support you on your ascension path. And today, that is what we're going to be doing with this transmission, Higher Soul Timelines. And I'm very excited about today because we have so many beings of light that have been coming into the field to support this transmission, to support this experience and journey here today. So, we've been calibrating the field, calibrating those who will be receiving the field. It is quite potent, so I'm ready to see what is going to come through for you today. So I invite you to make yourself comfortable, sit down, relax, and be ready to open and receive. And really, at this time, you can connect with your intention for listening here today. Connect with where in your life are you seeking a shift? Where are you seeking some sort of expansion or the next level, the next step? Whether that is in your relationships, in your love life, in your finances, in your purpose and mission, what area of life or areas are you really excited to look at today and really excited for support from your soul teams of light, from my soul team of light, from my heart to yours? Like, where are you really seeking support today? And that's okay to own it and today to really claim, like, I'm ready for a transformation, I'm ready for a change in XYZ. So, now that you have that intention that you're holding in your heart, yeah, calibrating the field and preparing for this beautiful transmission that will come through and quantum journey that we will go on. On the journey of connecting and creating timelines, connecting with and creating timelines of your higher soul self. One of the beautiful things that we do is connect with higher self versions of us and other aspects of our soul. And this is something that is a joy on my journey to help people connect with parts of themselves. We do so much, work in early stages of our journeys around connecting with inner child versions of us and, our heart, our mind, our soul, different parts of us. And now we get to expand even more to, go on and now we connect with parts of our soul from other lifetimes, from other places, from other aspects of our soul consciousness beyond just this one. Because what I'd like you to know and to really anchor today is your soul collective. That you are a collective. Sometimes we feel so lonely and we say, oh, I'm alone on this path. I'm alone on my journey. But you're not, You're not. You're one version of your soul, and there's so many other versions of you. And it's like, think of twins in this life. How epic is the twin relationship? I mean, I'm not a twin, but I've witnessed twins. I can only imagine how beautiful and how interconnected they are. And the camaraderie you feel with your twin is like more than anybody else in this world. Now imagine your other soul selves. They're like your twins, but of the soul. And there's more than one. So there's like your whatever it is when you have an infinity. You have all these beings that have so much love for you, that are so understanding of you because they are you in a way. They're a different expression of your soul frequency, but they are you and they have gifts ready to share with you. So when we really expand ourselves and really work at the multidimensional level, connecting with all these different soul selves who are here to support us, to really do our mission and really live our lives, we realize we have so much more available to us. Because this is a big point I want to anchor in before we really get going. And this point is that you are more than this personality. You are more than this version of you that has this name, that has this age, that is, you're from this, you have this nationality, you're from this place, and you have this parents. Like, yes, that is a part of you, and we don't dismiss that part of you. We acknowledge and we celebrate that personality, that aspect. But you are so much more, and we are really expanding and seeing our identity as something larger, wider, more expansive. And when we do that, we're able to speak, to share, to create from more than this one aspect of us. Because Christy Davis, she's pretty great. But, if I had to create everything I'm trying to create in this world with just the information that I've learned in this life, with just the experiences I've had in this life, with just the knowledge that I have in my head, with just the contacts I've met in this life, like there's a lot I can do, but there's only so much I can do. And when we really begin to see ourselves as a collective, we start to understand that there's this unity consciousness within our soul, that there's this collective energy, that there is not this single Groshkera fractal who's alone and floating through the multiverse, You are this infinite being, and you get to connect with the parts of you that are a goddess, the parts of you that are an ascended master, the parts of you that are a beautiful being of light, a celestial angel, like these parts of you that have so much to offer. And we're not connecting with these parts because you are not enough. Of course not, We're connecting with these parts because they're the truth of who you are. Because you're more. You're actually more than enough, You're more than what you thought you were. Like, you have all these other aspects of your being. And to me, on my path, this has just been one of the most transformational pieces, to get to go into my libraries from other lifetimes and tap into knowledge, codes, technologies, information that I have stored in my soul. Like, I always call it like the iCloud, it's like the cloud, my soul cloud. I have all this information. Why only use what I have here? Why not, let it stream, and and the frequency come through at such a precision, such a frequency that everybody feels, all these beautiful things. And what's mind-blowing is that now, today, I'm sitting here talking to you, and all these different views that are the versions of you, all these different people who are listening to this transmission, whether it's today or in a future timeline, all the other soul versions of you are receiving this as well. So we're doing some epic work here right now, because I have all these other soul versions of me that are working and streaming through, and all these other beings of light that are, soul family and beings of light that I've co-created with in lifetimes, who are here streaming through to talk to you, who is also in communion with all the other versions of you and all the beings of light on your team. So it's like a massive transmission. It's not just us talking to each other. It's like, boof, we got like my team's gonna call your team vibe going on, like we got teams happening. So this transmission is to you and your whole soul team, and that's really cool. And the journey will go on, will be you connecting with your soul team and connecting with your soul libraries, so that you can get to explore and enjoy what you have available to you. And then you get to bring that and land it back in this life, in this version of you. So you get to add to it, to your reality, I want to start with a story, and this story is about from a year and a half ago. I was in Egypt. It's my first time in Egypt. And my whole life, as many of you might be very excited to go to Egypt. My whole life I wanted to go to Egypt. And I didn't know what to expect, but it was obviously, for spiritual geeks, it's like, so potent. And we've recalled so many lives in ancient Egypt, and we've connected with that frequency. And I had an experience when I walked into the Great Pyramid of Giza. the frequency is so strong. Like the women that I was with, we all walked in and everyone, no one said a word, but we all just were like woof, hit with the frequency, and we all put our backs up against the wall inside the inner chamber, and we just went into these deep meditations. And we didn't speak to each other. We were there for like 45 minutes, an hour. I don't even know. Time was didn't even exist. But I even sat down and I went into this deep meditation, and this version of me arrived, and she emerged in front of me, and I could feel her as if she was truly in front of me. And she sat like forehead to forehead, and she said, I'm going to take you on a journey. And she took me on this journey, and she showed me her life in this ancient Egyptian frequency where she was a queen. I don't know how politics worked back then, so I don't know how what she was a queen of, or what the logistics of it all. But she was in a custodian, a steward of a group of people. And her husband, her partner, was a king, and he was, with her, a partner, custodians of these people, and stewards of this group of people. And so she saw that with such honor. Like, she really, I could feel in her heart, and she showed me, like, as if I was her, she showed me what it was like to be in her frequency, and the way she viewed the perspective she had, of the way she cared for her people, and the way that she showed up as a leader, and then the way that she had this partnership. Because the thing was, at the time, I was traveling the world. I was in Egypt. I was having a beautiful time doing all of these things that I loved, in purpose, in pursuit of my mission, in pursuit of my purpose. But I had a beautiful relationship that we were long distance. Like, we had been together long distance to get, like, we couldn't figure out how to be together in the world doing the things we loved. And I at the time perceived it, and it's so funny now to see it, but I perceived it as almost like I had to pick one. I couldn't have, this is such a common thing we come across, is like, you can't have it all. I had this mentality that, like, I couldn't have my partner and my girlies on the spiritual journey, trips and things like that. Like, I couldn't have it all, and I didn't know how it all could come together. I couldn't have my mission and my beautiful relationship all at the same time. Like, well, that was a lot. Like, how would that work? So I was manifesting this reality. I was creating this timeline where I was long distance from my partner. We were long distance for almost like 8 months last year, and we just I was like, I'm gonna go after my purpose, but I was kind of leaving my relationship behind. So here I am, back. We're in the Pyramid of Giza, meditating, and this version of me showing me this beautiful life. She's loves her people, and she has this partner, and together they rule, and they, rule might be the wrong word, but they serve these people, and she showed me this architecture where she cares for her people. She is in such this beautiful partnership and divine union with her partner. And then they have kids, and she has this beautiful family, and she's able to hold it all. She can hold all of those things, and they all coexist, and they all support each other. And she was showing me and letting me really infuse this reality into my being. And so that I could come out of that meditation and I could hold that perspective. I could hold that architecture. I could hold that reality, that timeline, because I was her. Like, it's like when a mentor shares a story with us, it's so beautiful. When a friend shares a story with us, it can really support us. It can really help us. So amplify that when it's you. Your soul has done this, which means not only are you receiving from someone else, but you're actually, it's already in your DNA. It's already in your soul architecture. So it's you're just kind of downloading it like that. So it's so simple. So anyway, boom, came alive with this reality of, like, duh, I can have it all. I can have my partner. I can have my mission. I can have so many beautiful things all at once. And so I emerged from that meditation with that reality. And it did take time, for the physical reality. It took us a few months to sort out where our home base was going to be and how we were going to come together. But I committed to that. And we ended up, moving to Bali at the time, and we were finally in the same place. And, I was able to be doing my mission. And what was funny, as soon as we were together and I had his support, my mission amplified. I was more supported. I was more anchored and able to serve and do more. And it's actually amplified. So it's so funny how we hold things apart, aspects of us or aspects of our reality, when really those things actually belong together and they actually can come together and be even stronger. So why do I share this story? Of course, because today's about higher soul timelines, and I want to share, that when you take those versions of you, their advice, their perspectives, their codes, their frequency, you put it into your life, and it creates change. Because da da da, in 1 week. We are leaving. We're in Japan right now, which is why you see this beautiful background behind me. We're in Japan, and in 1 week we are traveling to da-da-da, Egypt, with a bunch, a big group of beautiful souls. Some of you watching this might be one of them, and I'm gonna see you there. And my partner is coming with me, so we're gonna be back in the same chamber a year and a half later in the pyramids of Giza with all my, spiritual besties, and on this amazing pilgrimage, on this amazing activation. And he's gonna be there, and I'm so excited to see what that's like. So I just felt like it's such a full circle moment that I wanted to start this transmission with that story, so that we could really give a context for how much these explorations we do into connecting with parts of ourselves really become tangible things that support us. So this might be a familiar concept to you, but I just ask you to really let that, the codes that are coming in as I say these words, let that come into your heart as I share. Beautiful. Roshkira mratirashkia ratiara tiara mratirashkia. Troshkira ratira tira mratirashkia karishkia mratira tiataishkia. Tarashkia, the field is being prepared for our quantum adventure that we're going to be going on, and all these higher self versions of you are coming into the field now to in anxious anticipation to connect with you. Tarashkia maratirashkia. We have so many beings of light that are going to be supporting this journey and the activations that will be taking place. We have the Arcturian Council of Light. Gods and goddesses of the Golden Realm. We have Isis, and Hathor. Karashkia Lemurian High Council is here. As well as Karashkia, the ancient Egyptian Karashkia Kuireshkia High Council. Karashkia, the beautiful civilizations of Earth, of Gaia, Karashkia are really coming in now. The frequencies of them, their higher forms. Because many of you will be connecting with lives you've had on Gaia, on Earth, and in these beautiful civilizations. Beautiful civilization of Atlantis, Avalon, Maya, African ancient civilizations, and beautiful Asian civilizations of light. We're really connecting today to these beautiful Gaia timelines, Gaia, golden ages that we're going to be exploring, with your soul. The Andromedan Council of Light, Syrians, the Lyrans, and the Pleiadians. We have such a beautiful galactic crew here, ready to support you, with this integration. And of course the Celestial Council of Light, beautiful celestial beings, are sharing and anchoring this frequency with us today. There's just a few things, we will share before we begin, the actual journey. Roshkera Marati Rashkia. We want to reiterate what we have shared in the Groshkia Mrate Rashkia the information regarding this event, Groshkia about higher soul timelines, Groshkia, because we have three pieces of this we'd like to anchor with you so that you are aware as we go into the transmission, into the journey, what we are anchoring, what we are exploring. We have the word higher, higher soul timelines, which means, of course, we're connecting with higher aspects of you. We have so many aspects in our soul collective, in our soul network, and we ask you to tune in and with your intention today to connect with the higher frequency, higher embodied versions of you in the frequencies of abundance, in the frequencies of joy, the frequency of love, harmony, compassion. These frequencies we are beginning to bring into the field because they are beings of themselves. There are these frequencies like our friends. We're bringing in all of those frequencies now, so you can feel their presence, feel what they feel like. Because we remind you, beautiful souls, that as you adventure this life, as you journey and take one step at a time and create the next chapter of your life, we ask you to remember the frequency that which you create with, because you have many options. It is your choice. There are so many infinite number of frequencies and types of experiences that your soul, can explore. And if you are here listening to this, your soul really, really loves higher frequency experiences. What do we mean when we say higher frequency? We do not mean to shame anyone, to put anyone down as lower. We're not really co-creating here with a linear or hierarchical structure. When we say higher, we mean ascended. And when we say ascended, it is not Drashkia better or worse, it is Drashkia an expanded state of consciousness. That's simply it. And so we are connecting with versions of you that have a higher expanded state of consciousness. And that allows you to download information. When you connect with, it's a bit like if you connect with a version of you who was less experienced in a certain topic or task. When you two get together to talk, if you had just learned to use the computer and this one has been using the computer for 15 years and knows so many things, who would really share about how to use the computer? This one automatically would share here, you can do this, you can do this, and this one can share. Maybe, there's still beautiful exchange. There's no hierarchy, but there's this one might have so many questions and might need support about how do you, turn it on. And this one, I love these little beings. This one is like, oh my God, here's how you turn it on, da da da. And did you know when you turn it on, you can do this too and this too. This was like, wow. So, there's so much that this one can share to expand this one's consciousness around computers. So this is what we mean. We're connecting with versions of you that have an expanded library, an expanded awareness of a consciousness. And they are here, you're calling them in specifically for certain topics. Like if you're needing support in your mission or your purpose, or if you're needing support in your financial relationship or your love relationship, you call in the version of you or versions of you who have expanded consciousness in that area. And they come, and just being in their presence, expands you. And then a conversation or interaction you have with them expands you. Downloading codes from them expands you. And so we wish to just clarify that of what we mean by higher soul. Higher frequency. And now, your soul. Higher soul. Soul timelines. What does it mean to have a soul timeline? Because of course, we talk many times about higher timelines. Higher timelines are beautiful. They could mean, it's a timeline in a higher frequency, like we have shared. But what is specifically a soul timeline? What does it mean to infuse a timeline, to create a timeline, to choose a timeline from your soul? Ta! Glad you asked. Soul. It means, it is infused, it is created from the soul aspect of you. Because here's the alternatives. This will help you understand. The alternatives to a soul timeline are mind timeline. Maybe you created a timeline from your mind. Christy, I've done this many, many times. I think, I'm tired of feeling like this. I saw my friend did this. Maybe I should do that. And then my mind says, that's a good idea. That worked for that person, so maybe it's going to work for me. Maybe that's the thing that's been missing. I need to do what they're doing. My mind creates a timeline. I go out and I, try to do this thing, and it doesn't, it might work kind of, but it doesn't have the same effect as when I truly do something from my soul. And other types of timelines, you can have timelines created from your unconscious, from your subconscious. So the subconscious, as many, many, many of you are aware that are here, your subconscious creates your realities. As much as your conscious mind tries, your subconscious has so many beliefs and these powerful magnets of there is a phrase I felt the other day and I wish to share with you. I want to say it with precision here. Roshkia, your outer reality is the play that your inner reality has written. So your outer reality is the play that your subconscious has written. So your subconscious is writing the script. Da, 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 I can't have clients. Da, 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 nobody wants to work with me. And your conscious mind, your conscious reality is playing this out. So that's why we really clarify here. There's so much with the soul because you can have, mind timelines, subconscious timelines, which of course, here we mean to tell you subconscious timelines that are out of alignment with your soul. Of course, that's why we're highlighting this here, because there's many beliefs that you could be having that things your soul desires, but your mind is not in agreement. Your subconscious is not in agreement. So these are kind of the soul timelines here. And this is the list of kind of like out of alignment with your soul timelines. So we have mind timelines, we have subconscious timelines. And then this is a fun one, societal timelines. Who's ever been on a societal timeline? Was it a good time? Maybe, but was it really the soul seeking, soul fulfilling experience you desired? Maybe not. Societal timelines are things that, our society has told us to do. Our family, things that you grew up with that your society expected of you. Here's the cultural norms. Here's the customs. Here's what you have to do. You're doing that? No, that's weird. You can't come back in. And so we get put on these societal timelines as we grow up of here's what, here's how things work. Here's how relationships work. Here's what relationships look like. Here's what work looks like, and sometimes you find yourself coasting on these societal timelines. This is your life before your spiritual awakening. You were probably on these societal timelines, and then you were like, I feel terrible. I don't like my life. And then you went through some huge, massive spiritual awakening. Boom, and your whole societal timeline fell apart, and you have now been crafting and creating timelines from your soul. But it's good, even though we're more further along on our journey now. It's still nice to be aware of when have I caught myself on one of those waves, even in a small way. And the last one, ancestral timelines. Those are a good time. I am a specialist, if you did not know, in ancestral work, and it's something that I've done with family constellations for many years. So I worked a lot with people and studied intensely the ancestral field. And we, get swept up, even I like to say that just as our personal self has a subconscious, our ancestral field has a subconscious. And so that I think is the real powerful work that people don't realize when they come to work with me and we find some sort of thing in their field that they're like, whoa, I did not think that related back to my mother, or whoa, I did not know why we were looking at it in that way. But it's not conscious. We have, of course, conscious ancestral connections, like, I grew up with a mom who wanted me to be a doctor all the time. You should be a lawyer, you should be a doctor. Am I? No. And, do I sometimes, have I, that has been a part of my journey, feeling like, am I disappointing her? Am I doing something she doesn't understand? Am I, should I change paths? Like that has been a part of my journey. So that's kind of like a conscious ancestral timeline. And then below that, we have the subconscious ancestral timelines. And these are things that we don't even realize, where we're being loyal to our family field, where we're interconnected or entangled with other family members, when we're really feeling a heaviness or a weight of our family and we're carrying it as our own when it's not, or we're feeling like we cannot go on our own path because we cannot leave the way the family has gone. So this is a big one that we work on a lot in the work I do with people, and it's really profound. It creates big shifts. So those are some that are sometimes ways we get caught up in non-soul timelines. And soul timelines are the super amazing ones, where they're not always easy for our human self. I will share that. As you have walked a path that has not been easy. It might not have been easy for you to go your own way, for you to say yes to spirituality, for you to post certain things online that people are like, what the hell? Like, and your, aunt and uncle back home are like, what is she doing? Your parents, oh, that's, sorry, I'm from Oklahoma in the US, so my aunt and uncle talk like that. But anyway, you might not have had an easy road as a person, as a human, because you've maybe gone a different path from your ancestry. You've gone a different path from society. You've gone a different path from your mind. Your own self, your own mind might be like, what the hell are you doing? When your soul is like, this is the decision I want to make. This is the path I want to go on. This is how I want to do this. And your mind might be like, what is happening? And not really on board. So these are all ways that we can support ourselves when we realize the aspects of us that are out of alignment, and the aspects of our soul that wish to seek alignment, and we can actually ease this process of the tension. What's that word? Dissonance. Haha. It's my psychology days. The cognitive dissonance that happens when between two things happening inside of us, and so we can ease that. But it's okay to just acknowledge the bravery and courage you've had to continue on your path, despite that guilt, despite that tension, despite that fear, despite that discomfort of coming off of those non-soul timelines. So congratulations, you're here, which is amazing. And now, Roshkia, the soul timeline. It's so juicy. It's so yummy. It's like a warm cup of tea on a rainy day when you're snuggled up on your couch, and you just feel amazing. And you have your partner cooking you dinner. It's like, it's just heaven on earth. That is what we get to experience when we talk about heaven on earth, is our soul timelines. And our soul timelines mean that we are in alignment with the desires of our soul. We're in alignment with the contracts of our soul, with the purpose of our soul, the mission of our soul here on earth. And a lot of pain in this life can come from not feeling in alignment on that path. And as you know, the more you have chosen your soul, the more you have said yes to things that did not make sense to others, you have expanded, and you have started to live more and more and more in ways that you never expected. Because this is the thing about the soul timelines. They are infinite. They are unexpected. They are new territory. Because when we are in ancestral timelines, when we are in societal timelines, when we are in Sorry, there's a sounds happening around me. Troszkę talking about society. When we are in these other timelines, we wow, that train of thought just completely went away with those sounds. So we'll just come back here. Pause this. One moment, beautiful. Thank you guys for your patience. So, soul timelines are coded with the frequency of your soul. They are coded and created from your soul. And earlier in the journey, you might have found yourself being feeling these massive intuitive pushes by your soul team, by your guides, by your soul self speaking and being like, move to another country, do this, making these really big and you felt this like push, yes, from your soul, who's like, go here, do this, like almost like a billboard and like a loudspeaker, and you had to do it, and you did, and you made some big change. And you might not find yourself feeling that anymore. You might feel, this calling, this knowing, when there's a right path, but whenever you're now on this path where you've acknowledged your soul, you're aware of that soul voice, you're listening, and you're on the journey of your soul path. You're not way over here, you're here. You have so much more choice, and you have so much more involvement in the process, consciousness of what's happening. So you get to make decisions about how to move forward. And that's a beautiful thing. So you might get to be more involved and leading the process of your soul path. So that is why here today we want to really talk about precision and how now that you're on your soul path, you're on a greater soul timeline. How do we get even more precise with little aspects of ourselves where we notice, that was the mind trying to pull me this way. That was, an ancestral tie here. That's like I'm experiencing for an example, just the other day, I had this, not even an argument, but just a little moment of tension with my partner, just in the way we were like he was like kind of grumpy. And that was it. It was very light. It was very, very delicate. And I just remember feeling like, um, you know, to be honest, the day before I'd been on a train, and then we had a couple sitting next to us, and they were a little bit grumpy and quippy with each other. And when you witness it from the outside, it's easy to judge. But I kind of had the thought, I wonder if I ever sound like that. Like maybe I do that a little bit. Maybe sometimes I get a little grumpy or quippy with my partner like that. And so then the next day he did that with me, and I just remember feeling this frustration. And this wasn't a big thing. It wasn't a huge like, oh my God, I'm in an entirely wrong relationship. This was just a small frequency. And I sat with myself and I was like, what's happening here? Like, because to be honest, the way I heard the couple talk in the train was the way my parents talk to each other. And the way I've been talking, and I noticed that my partner was being grumpy with me. I think I've been grumpy with him. It was because he was very hungry. Later the day, I was really hungry, and I was also a little bit similarly grumpy. So, I think that had something to do with it. But I really got to look into my field and say, I'm gonna get like, yes, I have a beautiful relationship. Yes, I'm very happy. But like, let's get really, really like, let's get the magnifying glass out here and look what's going on here with this little pattern I see of sometimes me being grumpy or quippy or sometimes my partner doing that. Like, what's happening? And I was able to work with my soul team, and we were able to see, okay, I've got some ancestral pattern here and societal pattern, because I'd heard the people in the train, I'm not related to them, but in society, sometimes partners do that with each other. And I'm not saying that there's not going to be moments where you can't have grace, or when your partner is having a hard time. But what I mean is that there was this pattern of communication within couples in the societal structure I'd grown up in. and with my family of how people talk to each other, how they relate to each other. And I realized I don't want that. Like, I don't want to have just a societal pattern in my relationship. Like, I want it to be a soul relationship. And my soul wants to express love, and my soul wants a high frequency, high loving, enjoying relationship. And so I got to do a process within myself instead of, going after my partner for being grumpy. I got to go within myself and be like, what the heck? What's going on here? And I really got to see and decode with my team these aspects of societal ties, ancestral ties to relationships. And I get to create my own. There's the thought from earlier. Da-da-da! We're back on track. The thing I was going to say that we got to, just derailed there, is that soul timelines create something new on earth. And okay, I'm getting really excited because this is my jam. This is my favorite thing to talk about. Okay, let me center myself. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready? When we love to talk about the new earth, right? We love the new earth. What is the new earth created from? The soul. It's created from new timelines, new avenues, new ways of doing things. Because if we were to always do things like they were, we don't move forward. We don't advance. We don't evolve. We don't expand. We don't ascend. When we stay in a stagnant nature, especially on Earth with the way that things are, we kind of come into denser realities sometimes. If we were to continue the societal patterns, the mental patterns we were given, the ancestral patterns we were given, if we were just play that out, which a lot of people on Earth are, exploring playing that out, it just feels like a loop, doesn't it? When you see yourself or other people playing out old patterns, don't you feel when it happens to you, don't you just feel like you're stuck in a loop and you're like, I'm here again. How am I here again? Or when you look at the news and you see what's going on, it just feels like this weird loop of like frustration and like it's just it's not moving forward. It's not growing. And so this is the thing. To create the new earth, we need new timelines. We need new energies, new frequencies, new ways of being, new creativity, new patterns to emerge. And so this is when the new earth is created. I'm so excited. In those moments, like me sitting there after one little tiny quippy remark from my partner, and I get to sit there and I get to say, where am I co-creating with societal and ancestral patterns for relationships? And I get to shift that, and I get to create and go through a process of with my team or with a mentor to transmute and transform those patterns right there, right then. And I get to step into a new timeline. In that moment, I get to create a new timeline where now I am bringing in codes. I can call in the higher selves of me who are in beautiful relationships and divine union codes. And I can receive their frequency. I can receive their patterns. I can receive their guidance. And my soul team can rewire my field so that I am releasing those ties to those patterns. And I now have new energy, new perspective. And this is what happened. I was in my room, and this is the magic. Then you get to go and act and create from that newfound frequency. Because I went downstairs and I was hurt by things that he'd said, or the way he talked to me, even though it was very, like I said, it was very gentle, because it reminded me of my past. And I had a certain way in my family where when somebody hurt you, when I was hurt, I would be very, very offended and very like, I'm gonna take space from you now because that really hurt me. And in that moment, I just said, what would be really beautiful right now? Forgiveness. Like, to really change a pattern. And this might be easy for somebody else, but in my ancestral pattern, in my societal pattern, we hold on when we're hurt. We hold on to that grudge. Hold on. And in this moment, I got to say, what would be really awesome right now? Forgiveness. Because you know what? Maybe he was just very hungry. Maybe I've done that to him. And wouldn't I not want him to ignore me or be distance from me for hours because I said one, harsh thing to him? Wouldn't I want his grace and his forgiveness? And so that was the way I got to create something new in that moment. So I went back in, and instead of sitting in my room brooding for a couple of hours away from him, I came downstairs, I gave him a hug, and we moved forward, and then we had this beautiful day together, actually, and it had an amazing conversations, and all this beautiful things happened. And then I had a conversation with him later about it specifically, and I said, I bet you I do that sometimes too, don't I? And he said, yeah. And I said, okay, well let's try. Let's, if I do that with you, why don't you just hey, be gentle, like you're doing that. Let me know, and I, let's co-create something different here. Let's create something, a new relationship where we speak really, really gently and beautifully with each other. And so, we shook hands and agreed to this new experiment. So, I know that's a small example, but I share that because I want you to know that these are the moments we create new timelines. Whenever you have these experiences in your life where you're like, stuck in a pattern, stuck in a loop. I feel like I've been here before. Those are the perfect times. You have those are the perfect words to be ding ding ding. Hey, I am maybe in a mental pattern. I am maybe in, a societal pattern. I may be in an ancestral pattern here that, or a subconscious pattern that is causing me to be out of alignment with my soul. And I get to pause and I get to go in with my team and I get to scan and identify which one it is and how I can get support either from another person or from my team to, or my higher selves to transform that pattern and come back into a pattern of my soul. What would my soul say? What would my soul want? How would my soul create this experience? And every single time we do this, every single time we pivot from the out of alignment timelines to the soul timeline again and again and again and again, we create soul timelines, we create new possibilities, and we create the new earth. So it's so worth it to do this. It's so worth it to create this pattern for yourself of really stopping to identify either one, where do I feel frustrated? Or two, how could this get even better? Like this is pretty great. How could it get even better? I was talking to a friend of mine who loves their Kindle. They have a Kindle, they're so excited, they read their juicy books, like it's been a really fun thing in their life. And then I knew because I had seen online a bunch of stuff. I also read my Kindle, but I knew that one of the things. This is what I'm talking about. This is a silly example, but this is what I'm saying. Life can get even better. Some people will be, my friend was saying, oh, they use it when I'm at the nail salon, or I use it with when I'm eating lunch, and then you just need a little finger to be able to turn the page. And I said, hey, did you know that they make remotes now where you can hold the remote, like if you're under the covers or if the Kindle's far away from you, instead of having to keep on turning it with your finger, you get to just click the Kindle. And she was like, I remember she had this moment, she just paused, and then she immediately pulled out her phone, was like, how do I order for tomorrow, because and you saw on her face like, oh my god, my life can get even better, like things can get even better. And those might sound silly, but I'm in Japan right now, and did you know they have heated toilet seats? Every single toilet seat, maybe 99% of toilet seats in this nation are heated, and it's winter right now, so it's cold. So do you know how good it feels to sit on a heated toilet seat? Amazing. Do I ever want to sit on a non-heated toilet seat again? Not really. Yes, next week I leave Japan and I will have to go sit on non-heated toilet seats again, but wouldn't it be great if like the whole world was like, you know what? That's pretty great. Like let's do that. Let's heat those toilet seats. So we want to invite you to play here too. Like, yes, this comes up in the moments when you're frustrated. Yes, it comes up when the moments when you're like going through it or you're like looping, but it also comes up in moments you want to explore, moments you want to expand. Do you love baths? Yes. Probably. If you're here, you probably love integration baths and you love to spend time in your bath. The experience of turning on the water and you have to get this much hot, this much cold. Great, got it. Okay, now I have to go in the other room and wait like a long amount of time. I'm gonna make a tea. Oh my god, the water. And then you run in and you see, oh, the bathtub's not full yet. And then you go and you start baking something. Oh, the water. And you run in and then, oh shit, it's overfilled. And then it's like you're constantly monitoring this. Do you know in Japan, they were like, couldn't that be better? And they have a button at the bathtub I have here. You just it just says automatic bath filling, and you just put the temperature of the bath you want, how full you want it, and you click the button, and it fills it to that amount, to that temperature. I mean, come on, it's the simplest thing, but like, what the heck? Like, life could really be that great. Why didn't we think of that already? Why doesn't everybody do that, you know? Um, and so it doesn't have to be these huge, painful patterns. Uh, it can also be areas where you're like, I wonder if I could play with this. I wonder how this could get even better. I wonder how my experience could be even more amazing. How could I experience even more abundance? How could I experience even more play? How could I experience even more fun in my relationship? You know, like my relationship. Okay, I had the pattern. Great. Now, where can I play with that? Of like, okay, great. Now we're like, back on track and we're speaking really nicely to each other. But like, how could the relationship get even better? Like, what could be something like so fun I haven't even thought of that could happen in my relationship to expand it? Like, this is the type of stuff we get to play with. And this is why the soul is so crucial because it is so much has so much more consciousness beyond our own personal mind and being. So when we allow that through, um, magic happens. And of course, it's connected with the whole universe. It's connected with the whole quantum. And we decide these things. We want these things on the quantum. It can happen in our lives in unexpected ways, and it arrives to us in ways we didn't expect. But we chose that. We created it. We stepped onto a timeline where we said, these are the frequencies I wish to create with. And I'm going to scan and see if I'm creating with fear or if I'm creating with guilt or self doubt. And I'm going to choose to create and have faith and I have love and have joy in whatever I want to do next and have it be even better than I expected. And then I'm going to look at where am I out of alignment with my soul and where am I falling into other patterns or how could my soul show me something that's beyond my mind, beyond my being? Like how could my soul come in and show me a better solution than I could have ever imagined? Like how could the soul come in and just be like, ta-da! This is the most epic thing you've ever seen and ever experienced, and you never would have thought of it. And you're like, wow, like things like that can get to happen for us when we play with our soul. So we're almost there. We're almost to the transmission, and first we have this higher aspect, then we have the soul, and I just want to speak to one more piece here, which is not the word timeline. That's probably what you thought I was going to say. But actually, I want to talk the third piece about abundance. I know we spoke about abundance under the higher frequency, but there's something that specifically wants to be shared here today, and it'll come up in this transmission that we do, and that it's abundance is the frequency of life itself. It's the frequency of creation. Like everything is created with the frequency of abundance. And it's just an illusion that we're not abundant. It's an illusion that we're not in this frequency of abundance. And it's the beliefs and the programs that we get from in this life or from other lives that keep us from realizing the truth of abundance. But the truth of abundance is that it is a frequency. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about the frequency behind money, which is abundance, which can happen in so many ways of our life. And so I want to bring this up because it's just a small point, but when we create, abundance is like our best friend. It's like our BFF to create higher soul timelines, to create higher new earth timelines. Um, I would even go so far as to say new earth timelines can't be created without abundance. Higher soul timelines can't be created without abundance. It's like abundance is like the glue that holds everything together. It's the magic that allows it to happen. And so if there was one area to really expand yourself, to really explore, it's abundance. Like it's like every time we expand ourselves in abundance, and this is not just expanding ourselves with money. It's expanding ourselves with the infinity of possibility. Mm, wow, pretty cool, huh? Yeah, it's expanding ourselves with the infinity of what's possible, limitless possibility. And if you want to experience limitless possibility, if you want to experience um a mind that can Kroshkiratirashkia, koroterashkia. Create timelines, create realities on earth that are beyond what is known, beyond what is known by you and by the world. If you want to create timelines where you are exponentially expanding, when you are enjoying to the very core of your being, every cell of your being, abundance, like that is what you're going to co-create with. So I invite you in this journey, we're going to specifically bring in the frequency of abundance and specifically connect you with a version of you embodied in abundance so that you can experience this. Because in the work that I do with people, a massive percent of it always comes back to abundance. And it's not always what people think. They might come in with a certain thought or certain belief, and we always behind that, it's abundance. That's what it is. And so that's why I've been led so much into working with abundance in my career and in myself and in my own journey. So that we want to really bring in as a very special piece here today. Boom! I think we have everything now on the table to begin our quantum adventure. Thank you for tuning in and really being present and receiving the codes that were shared here today. Take a moment and just get yourself situated so that you can be as comfortable as possible. You can lie down or sit for this process. Beautiful. So go ahead and close your eyes if you'd like. And just begin taking big, deep breaths into your body, connecting with your body. All the beings we mentioned earlier, are here supporting you in this journey, as well as Gaia herself. Gaia is really here supporting you, as you're stepping into new timelines for yourself, as you're co-creating with more precision, with abundance and your soul to create timelines for yourself. Trashkera moratirashkera moratira tadatea taishkia krutirashkia turushkera moratirashkia rutirashkera moratirashkera tirashkia, feeling your soul team and all these beings of light coming into this field, coming into your field. Rutirashkera moratira taishkia krushkia, surrounding you in a beautiful circle, coming in to support you. Krashkera tia you are taken into a beautiful quantum chamber, one that is designed for your soul, where you have a beautiful bed laid out for you to lay on. Just see your soul, see your quantum self laying on this bed. Notice if it's made of rose quartz or roses or some other material. And feel yourself being supported by these beings, and notice who is arriving specifically to support you from your whole soul team. What beings of light are here in your field? There are a few that would like to make themselves more prominently known. So take a moment to recognize the frequencies in your field now. It might be ancient Egyptian frequency, Andromedan frequency, Isis frequency. Feel now who is here. And these are your guides who are going to help you connect with versions of you now who can support you on your path. So we ask you now to rise off of the bed that you have been laying on, and with the support of these guides and these specific beings, they might be an animal as well. Feel yourself led to a beautiful bridge. It's a bridge of light. Trashkia, notice the color of the bridge in front of you. Is it made of pink light or rainbow frequencies? Trashkia, yellow light. Feel this frequency. If you cannot see it, Trashkia, notice the frequency that you feel in your body now, the feelings, the sensations. And now as you approach this bridge, you see on the other side a version of you who is here to support you now with the intentions that you brought forward today, the creation of a higher soul timeline for yourself. And you walk down this bridge, begin walking, and as you step onto it, notice what it feels like to be on this bridge. The frequency below your feet, the color as it touches your skin. Feel this frequency of the bridge as you walk, and the other self begins walking towards you on the bridge until you meet in the middle. See who this version of you is. What lifetime, what galactic civilization or ancient civilization of Gaia or celestial being is present before you now. It is coming into one being. They extend their hand or their arm and embrace you in some way. Touch their skin and notice what it feels like to be in their field and receive from them. They're going to take you on a beautiful journey now, and so begin to follow them back onto their side of the bridge. And they walk you now across the bridge into their reality, their timeline. Come off of the bridge and allow them to show you certain scenes or certain realities that can support you now. Troškera mortera štia tera 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 mortera škia kurtera škia tera tera. They show you scenes of their life. They allow you to see and feel their reality. And begin to take this into your heart, take this into your being. Allow them to really download these codes into your field. And they have a gift for you. Notice what this gift is now. And once you receive this gift and you understand Roshki and receive what the purpose of this is and how this can support you, you're now invited to collaborate with this version, to ask this version to join you as a mentor in your reality, to be available to you, to have support. And if they say yes and you would like this, they can come with you back across the bridge. Grashkia, returning on the other side. And now they are with you. Oh, you make your way together across the bridge till you see your guides waiting for you. And you return to them. And now they would like to connect you with a version of you specifically embodied in abundance, in more expanded consciousness of abundance. So, with your guides and this version of you who has now joined your team, you're going to turn and face forward and notice a new bridge has emerged. This one has a different color. a different frequency, a different feeling. Allow this bridge to form and step onto it and notice how it feels to be on this bridge. Beautiful, beautiful. And now, Drashkia, there is another version of you on the other side of the bridge who is coming towards you. Drashkia, and this version is one who is embodied in abundance. And this version may be from a galactic life, another life on Gaia, or even a future self from this life itself. And this is now an abundant version of you coming towards you, who has codes and consciousness of abundance in their field. And you feel their presence as they get closer, and then you begin to identify who they are and have a moment where you connect and feel each other. Krashkia, and they now guide you, if you'd like, towards the other side of the bridge where they came from, so you can enter in and explore their reality. Allow them to show you and receive the codes from this reality of theirs. Ask them questions if you have. Really get support and guidance from them now. Allow them to show you their reality. And Krashkia, they have a gift to give you now. Roshkia, receive this gift. Roshkia, and bring it into your field, into your heart. Roshkia, staying with them for a few more moments. Roshkia, what else they want to show you or tell you or give you in the gift of codes. Roshkia, download and receive all of this. Beautiful. And now, if you'd like to invite them with you to come on and be a mentor to you, to be on your team, to support you in embodiment of abundance further and further, allow them to join you as you make your way back on this bridge. Back to this version of you. Back to the guides waiting on the other side of the bridge. And when you return to the guides with these two new versions of you, one to support you in your intention today, and one to support you with abundance. I want you to now see in front of you infinite timelines, infinite amounts of paths and directions. Like highways in the quantum. All stemming out like infinite ways you can move forward. I want you to notice the timelines that are coded with your soul frequency. Notice what it feels like and looks like when a timeline is coded with your soul. Notice if they're a certain color. Notice if they have a certain pull, like you want to go towards them. Do they have a certain feeling, frequency? Just familiarize yourself with the soul timelines in front of you. Krashkia murti rashkia. Trashkia murti rashkia. Tira tera rashkia. Krotea taishkia. And now, Kroshkia, imagine Krashkia, that these timelines all drift and dissolve away. Krashkia, and before you is a beautiful path. Krashkia, a road or a bridge paved with the most beautiful frequency, the most beautiful crystals, the most beautiful Krashkia Martirashkia expression. Kuye Aratirashkia. This one path before you. And I want you now to Grashkia, put your intentions into this path ahead of you. Whatever intention you have for this area of your life you wanted to look at today, I want you to Grashkia, feel the frequency of love and joy, like they're beings who come on either side of you. Feel them emerge, and I want you to ask them to co-create with you joy and love. Kroshkia, and imagine their frequency now infusing into this path in front of you. Kroshkia, it is being paved with love. It is being infused with joy. And next is abundance and peace. Feeling the frequencies of peace and abundance like beings with you, and allow them to code and co-create. Imagine what it looks like when their frequencies embed into this path ahead of you. What does it feel like when abundance paves the way, when Roshkia peace is interweaved into this path ahead of you? Roshkia. And now Roshkia tirishkia, the frequency of unity. Krashkia, feeling the frequency of unity and harmony. Roshkia tirashkia, as they weave together. And now added, does it change the color? Does it change the feeling of this soul code in front of you, this soul path? You are a beautiful painter right now, painting the path ahead of you with love, with joy, with harmony, with unity, with peace, with abundance. And now I'm going to ask you to open your heart field even further. And we're going to channel in from your soul a exact soul frequency blueprint, like an exact essence of your soul is going to channel into this beautiful pathway before you. And you don't have to know this from your mind. This isn't something with your mind. Allow it to come through your heart. And you can use your light language or hand light language. Our movements or rotea sound. And I want you to channel this frequency of your soul. Allow a beautiful contribution, a beautiful outpouring from your heart into this pathway now. Code this pathway with your soul. With your heart's desire to live on the path of your soul, to live in alignment with your soul expression. Sing Rashkia, light language. Rashkia, allow all the versions of you from your soul, the higher selves, to speak through you now and create your next soul path, your next timeline with the frequency of your soul essence. And notice what this pathway in front of you begins to look like. Rashkia is a whole scene appearing in front of you. What does it sound like? What does it smell like? What does it feel like? What color is it? What are you seeing? What images? Are you beginning to see images of yourself and your life and you doing certain things? Rashkia. Are you just seeing frequency and color? Allow this path in front of you to light up, to come alive with your soul, with these higher frequencies. And now, a special blessing from abundance. These new codes of abundance you have gotten from your Karashkia higher abundant self are now going to Karashkia form into your hands into a beautiful object that they're going to form themselves into a shape. It could be a geometric configuration, it could be a butterfly, it could be an object like a ankh. Allow the codes of abundance that have come from your soul today to form into a beautiful object in front of you. And allow those codes, Kroshkia, place them into the soul path ahead of you, into the timeline in front of you. Shkya, coding, Kroshkia, this timeline with codes of abundance. Kroshkia, tirashkia. And now stand with your heart open in front of this soul timeline in front of you. This higher soul timeline you have created from higher frequency, from abundance, and from your soul. And see how you feel. Notice what's alive inside you. What do you desire? What are you excited about? What do you feel inside you right now? What do you know is possible? What do you know is true? Droshki, allow all of that to anchor inside you now. These new perspectives, these new awarenesses, new insights to Grashkia, begin integrating and calibrating your being. Yarashkia. Now, Grashkia, you take a step forward onto that soul path. This beautiful pathway you have created. Begin to walk it. Step forward onto it. Take another step. How does it feel? Begin walking along this path. And along the way, you see these other versions of your soul cheering you on, future self versions down the line who are beaconing you, beckoning you forward. Come, come, come. And so you are not alone. You have souls on the sidelines saying, yes, yes, keep going. And in front of you, you have the next version of you who's calling you like a relay race, like a passing the baton. And she holds you as you step into the next phase. And then you walk forward with her. And as you walk, you notice more and more of these future selves, and you gather and you keep walking together until there are many, many, many of you walking along together in this beautiful path, like walking a marathon, together, like this massive crew of soul selves, of soul yous. And Toroshkia, you all Roshkia Tiya come from the frequency of your soul. And in that you have union. In that you feel connected, interconnected. And you feel the joy of being connected with so many aspects of you. And you walk this path with love and with gratitude. Tarashkia Morotea Iyarashkia Morotea Roshkia, beautiful Rashkia, keeping that soul connection, those versions of you, Krashkia, that feeling you feel, and coming back, bringing all of that into this beautiful physical body of yours, coming alive. Roshkia, tia, teishkia. Allowing your awareness to come back into your physical body, wiggling your toes. Take a moment, Rashkia, there's been a lot of frequency. And just allow yourself to be with that. Take a moment here. I'm just going to pause for a couple of minutes for you to come back, go get a drink of water, use the restroom if you need to. Begin to journal anything down. Write anything down that you want to go ahead and pause this and journal Roshkia, anything you want to remember. I'm going to pause the recording, Roshkia, so go ahead and pause your screen and come back when you're ready. Beautiful, welcome back. I hope you've taken all the time that you need and are feeling a little bit more grounded with this beautiful frequency and shifts that you've received here. I want you to remember that you have access to this all the time. So you can either watch this replay and go on the adventure again, or a beautiful way to integrate is to, for the next couple of days, have a conversation, continue the conversation with these two versions of you that you've encountered today. So you've received so much from the first version of you and the second abundant version of you. So I want you to continue that conversation. They're here to be support, like not just in this moment, in this adventure, but like ongoing. And they can continue helping. Like if you just say each morning for the next couple of days, like I'd like to receive more frequencies, more codes from you. Just kind of have it take 5 minutes to just lay there and connect with them and ask for more, to receive more from them. You can have conversations with them. You can write down and have a written conversation, or have a channeled transmission with them, and ask for support, ask specific questions, and hear what they would say. So um, I'd like you to continue the relationship with them and see how they can really support you in bringing new timelines, and know that the work you've done in creating this frequency timeline, trust that you've created some beautiful frequencies for going forward, and all those realizations and that knowing you had at the end there. Hold on to that, hold that. And even if you need to record a voice note or write it down, what it feels like to be in that knowing, what did you know to be true? And then for the next few days or week, continue coming back to that, continue anchoring in that knowing. And then when you find yourself like in those loops that we talked about, or in those frustration moments, come back to this process. You don't have to come back to this physical recording, but this process of, one, becoming aware with your team, have them support you. Where have you gone awry, or like where is are you off of the higher soul timeline? Where are you, one, co-creating with frequencies that are not higher frequencies? Where are you creating maybe with some fear, or some shame, or really deep insecurity, and you get to alchemize that? Or on the soul side, where are you creating with a non-soul timeline, like where are you creating with mental patterns or ancestral patterns or societal patterns, and how do you get to shift that, and shift that with your team? Use the support that you have with your spiritual support team, or reach out to mentors, or those who have the capacities to help you move through those pieces. So, and when you wish to create a new timeline, for me and my partner, we're now on the search for a new home base. And so I've been doing this process a lot to really anchor in, our next home, our next adventure, our next timeline. We're on a beautiful one right now where we're traveling, and that has so many amazing aspects to it. But I'm so excited to ground and have a place to really anchor. And so that's our next thing we're playing with. And so I'm playing with these how do I create that with these higher frequencies? How do I create that from my soul, and allow the process to have a mind of its own, or a life of its own? So I hope you've enjoyed this experience today, and I invite you to continue creating timelines from higher frequencies and from your soul, because higher frequency soul timelines are what is paving the new reality for all of us, for this earth, and the way that we are creating and co-creating a world that we are happy and thriving and excited to be in, where we get to express ourselves to the truest dimension, to the truest, most excited, expanded version of us. And others get to do the same, and we get to see what's possible as a world when we live like that. So please commit, devote yourself to higher soul timelines, and see what can happen for you and what you create in your life and what can happen for this world and what the world gets to experience when we share and and really live from our soul self.